Hi guys, today I want to talk about my top books to learn about nutrition. We really don't know a lot about nutrition yet. So I'm sure we can all agree that during our formal education and when we grow up, we don't really know a lot about nutrition. We just kind of copy what the mainstream says we should do or what our parents do. But actually, nutrition has a very, very significant influence on our health, and also it's a really complex topic. So I think it's important for all of us to educate ourselves a little bit about nutrition so we can make sure that, we eat the things that support our health and our life. Now, the books I'm going to show you, they will be from different perspectives. Diet books are typically very opinionated. People have strong opinions about diet. And I think it's important to read books from different perspectives and not get stuck at one book. So you just get an idea of all the different, ideas that are out there about nutrition, all the different interpretations, and you can start forming your own idea. I think that's really important. So when I show you a book, don't think that I follow that book every line, um, and that I'm some sort of supporter for that particular diet. I just think it's important to read a variety of sources. So, onto the list. First book I recommend is Nutrition and Physical Degeneration by Weston Price. Weston Price was a dentist. He visited a lot of um, tribes that still really live according to the traditional way. And he found really that there's a lot of differences between the modern diet and the traditional diet. And he found that a lot of diseases that we have in our modern world are not present in those tribes. And he sort of makes the links between diet and disease here. Um, and he does it from the perspective of a dentist. So there will be a lot of pictures also about the teeth and how the modern diet, for example, influences teeth in a negative way, while the traditional diet produced teeth that were very good looking, even though those people were not really using a lot of dental hygiene products, obviously. So that's a really interesting book about the difference between modern and traditional diets and how it can influence your health. A book that really also talks about this topic is Deep Nutrition. So this book is also talking about the difference between a traditional diet and the modern diet, but Deep Nutrition really goes into the details. It's written by a medical doctor, Catherine Shanahan, and she uses a lot of citations to support her arguments. She really goes into the details, like what is happening in the cell, what is happening in the brain when you eat, for example, vegetable oils and they cause inflammation. How does that work exactly? Heart disease, brain issues. She really talks about those things in very detail. So if you want to really know more about biology and really like to dive into the details, Deep Nutrition is the book for you. Next book I recommend is How to Heal Your Metabolism by Kate Deering. Um, in the recent years, the keto diet has been very popular. A lot of people saying that carbs are bad for you and you need to eat less carbs. Well, this book actually um, gives a different perspective, and they formulate the hypothesis that carbs are actually very important for our metabolism, meaning our cells, how they produce energy, and also for our thyroid health. And these are, of course, related. And it just gives, again, another very interesting perspective that goes against some of the ideas that carbs are bad. And this nutritional perspective really says that energy production is one of the root causes for health, or once your energy production is not good, it's one of the root causes for disease, and how we can use our diet to really heal our metabolism and make sure that doesn't happen. So very interesting perspective again. It really is a unique perspective that that goes against a lot of the common mainstream ideas. Next book I recommend is also a unique perspective. It's called The Carnivore Cure. Now, carnivore has also been a diet that has become popular really in the last, say, 5 to 10 years. And I think I'm not a carnivore myself, but I think that what carnivore showed us is that some of the things we learned when we were young, for example, that vegetables and fruits are super important for our health and that we cannot live without them, that some of these assumptions are actually just wrong, because there are people living completely off of meat and actually thriving, being healthier than ever. And moreover, they show that some of the plants we can eat or the fruits we can eat can actually have negative effects on our health for some people. So even though I'm not carnivore myself, I think reading such a book is so interesting because it gives a different perspective. It really shows the benefits of animal foods and the potential dangers of plants and fruits. So I think that's another book just to give you some ideas, broaden your view, and you can start experimenting with those things yourself, those different diet ideas, and see what works best for you. The next two books that I'm gonna recommend, I didn't read a physical copy, but the first one, I listened to it on Audible. It's called Genius Foods by Max Lugavere, and he really focuses on how to get the right nutrition for your brain. The reason he started thinking about this book was because his mother was suffering from Alzheimer's, and he thought that maybe diet can have a huge influence on the development of neurodegenerative diseases. But throughout the book, even though that is the initial reason for the book, he really covers all the important aspects of diet that we can think of. He covers fats, he covers carbohydrates, he covers antioxidants, meats and vegetables, the benefits and the downsides of everything. It's really just a great book for beginners if they just want to have a great overview over all the things that can be important when thinking about diet. And this book is really an omnivorous book. So he talks about fruits and vegetables and meats and fish and the benefits and downsides of all of them. And the final book I want to recommend is called Fat Loss Forever by Layne Norton. This book, as the title suggests, really focuses on fat loss. But why I recommend this book is because it talks in extreme detail about caloric balance. So how our body treats energy, the energy balance. So of course, when we eat more than we burn, we can gain fat, and then when we burn more than we lose fat. But actually, this mechanism, how this works, is quite complex, and he discusses this in a lot of detail in this book, how this works, and also he discusses why some diets are not better than others when it comes to fat loss, and he really goes into the science of that. So that's just a very interesting book also to better understand just some of the fundamental principles that are behind nutrition. And of course, energy, the energy content of your food, the calories, is one of those things. So that concludes my list for now. There are definitely some other books that I think are interesting to read, or some other sources, so I can disclose them in another video later on. I hope this was useful to you. I really think that if you read all these books, or if you listen to them on Audible, once you have done that, you really have sort of a bachelor's degree in nutrition. You really have a much better understanding of how nutrition works. So, yeah, I hope that was helpful, and thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye. By the way, guys, I forgot to tell you that the links for all of these books, I will put them below in the description, so you can just check them out for yourself if you think they're interesting. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this sort of content. Thank you. Bye bye.